I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? It's your boy JayThat'sMe. We're going to get into the TNA AMC premiere. This was not a good show. TNA should be ashamed of themselves. They failed on their first night on AMC. They failed. But I will give them some grace. They are in a rebuilding stage. And it's going to take months to get where they need to be. It's going to take more than just them bringing in talent. They really need a production crew like nobody's business. That production crew is awful. They need an actual professional production crew. Since they're working with WWE, maybe WWE could lend TNA some members of their production crew to help them out, to make the show sound and feel professional. Like AEW's production is better than this, and AEW's production, we know it is awful. But even AEW, even their production's better than this. TNA needs help like nobody's business. Again, this was not a good show. And what makes things even worse is that they're doing Genesis in 48 hours. And hopefully Genesis can deliver. Thankfully, next week's show is going to be live too, so hopefully that show can deliver. But this show left a real sour taste in my mouth, and I'm just extremely disappointed in TNA. I really am. You bring out AJ Styles, he does nothing. We get that a lot of talent couldn't make it because of visa issues. We understand that. But come on. Do better. So we're going to get into TNA Impact from January the 15th, 2026. We're going to do a quick review of that. And then we're also going to do go over the card for Genesis, and I'll give you guys my predictions. So let's go ahead and just get started. There were only 3 matches on this show, so we knew going in this thing, this wasn't going to be that good of a show anyway. So we kick things off with AJ Styles. He really doesn't say anything at all. We get a nice shot of the crowd. So AJ Styles comes out to welcome everybody to the show. He says, "Welcome to the house that AJ Styles built." The crowd chants for TNA and AMC. AJ Styles told the crowd that they were the TNA Nationals. And then that was it. He said he wants there to be chaos and everything. And sure, we got chaos. The bad kind. So, whatever. But this was not good. Moving on. This leads us into the first match of the night. Elijah and the Hardys, Matt and Jeff Hardy, they defeat the Order 4, Mustafa Ali and the Great Hands, Jason Hotch and John Skyler. Match was okay. Who really cares? Post-match, Agent Zero showed up. He attacked the Hardys. Then Vincent and Dutch, they attacked the Hardys as well. And then Vincent, for whatever reason, he attached a chain to one of Jeff Hardy's ear piercings, one of his gauges. And then Vincent cut a promo saying that the Righteous will win the tag titles at Genesis. And then that was it. Not a good way to really start the show. We know that the Righteous aren't going to win the tag titles, even though they have signed to TNA, which is fine. But I don't care about this. I really don't. I also heard that the TNA Plus feed went out and it didn't, come back on. And I've got TNA Plus, but thankfully I do have, direct TV, so I'm able to, I watched it that way, so I had no issues on my end because of that, so I'm glad that didn't happen to me. But I feel bad for those who have TNA Plus, to watch TNA. I don't know, man. TNA just needs help. They need fucking help. They need help. Moving on. This leads us into a backstage segment involving Frankie Kazarian. He was interviewed by Gia Miller. Before he could say anything, AJ showed up again, and he just stared Frankie Kazarian down. Kazarian thought that AJ should thank him for the house that he built, which he did, and then that was it. So whatever, who cares? Then we get a video package of the X Division. So whatever. They show a video package about that. Whatever, who cares? Moving on. Then we get a lame-ass comedy segment. Clearly, content creators from around the world were there, like Virgil Ortiz. I have no idea who that is. A bunch of other people. We also saw a full shot of empty seats, which that venue can hold 8,500 people. It was probably about, at best, 3,000 that were there. Maybe even 2,000 people that were there at best. Eric Young and AJ Francis, they were in the crowd. Who cares? They kept saying that the stars were out. Whatever. I don't care about that. They didn't, in the crowd was Mara Sade, Kenneth Michelle. So Ryan Nemeth, he came out to confront the stars, and then he ended up getting... He ended up hitting his crotch on the barricade or whatever. I don't care about this shit. Who cares? I don't care. Moving on from this leads us into another promo segment involving Santino Marella. So apparently Santino has gotten over his depression. The TNA board has decided that Santino Marella needs some help. So they brought in Daria Ray, which is Sonya Deville. She got a pretty good reaction. So, Sonya Deville called Santino Marella one of the pillars of the company. The crowd chanted his name. Sonya Deville said that the crowd was one of the best she's ever been in front of. So she turns heel on Santino Marella. She begins to talk trash about Santino Marella. So she calls herself the Suit, and she says that you shut up when she's talking. And then she ended up signing Atlanta Black, aka Cora Jade. So that's fine. That makes sense. I do think this is a way to entice Mandy. I know people are like saying, well, TNA can't pay Mandy. It's like, look, Mandy does fucking OnlyFans. Like, calm down. Like, stop. That's going to dry up at some point. Like, come on, man. So, this is fine. We haven't seen Cora Jade in about a year. It makes perfect sense. I'm pretty sure that they're going to end up bringing in more knockouts for sure. So, that's a good way. Maybe at Genesis, maybe we'll see... Lacey Evans, but I think she works with MLW, or she might work with Fort Rope Promotions. I'm not sure. I have to look into it, but whatever. Moving on. AJ Styles is backstage. He told Mike Santana that he held the company down as long as he could, and he told Mike Santana to beat Frankie for the title. I don't care about this. AJ has been gone for TNA for like well over a decade. It's not important. Whatever. Moving on, this leads us into the Elegance Brand. They had a segment. And this thing was... it was... it was stupid. It was dumb. So the personal concierge, a.k.a. George Iceman, he was there. So they were doing an in-ring segment with Perez Hilton. who has like pink hair and all this, that, and the third. It's like, what the hell? So, somebody's hiding under white feathers, and it's Mr. Elegance. So we don't know who this guy is. Clearly, it wasn't the other guy they recruited last week, who was like fat and bald and out of shape. So it wasn't that guy, and we knew that it wasn't gonna be him. I thought it was gonna be that Japanese guy, but it wasn't him. So, and I don't know who this guy is. And then they have the AMC logo on their trunks, all three. So Ash, M, and H, they all have the initials on the trunks, which is kind of funny. So then this leads us into the Elegance Brand. M and Heather, they recapture the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships, and they defeat the Inspiration because George Iceman got involved, as well as Mr. Elegance. I have no idea who that is. I don't know, because he distracted the ref, and then he grabbed the knee of, I think, Cassie Lee, and then M got a roll-up to win the match. So that's fine. Clearly, we know why this happened. It seems like the Inspiration is going to go back to WWE, since I think, is it Cassie who's married to Sean Spears? One of them is married to Sean Spears, so clearly he probably wants them to be under, the same promotion. So they'll go there. They'll go back there, and they really want the tag team titles to actually mean something. So I could see the Iconics showing up, probably even on SmackDown on Friday. So I wouldn't be shocked if they show up. So there's that. But this was a fucking mess. This was a damn mess. Usually I'm fine with the Elegance Brand because I like them, but even for me as a fan, this was hard to watch. This really was hard to watch. Moving on. So Stax and Ariana Grace, they were backstage. They trashed They trashed Santana Marella, and then Stax is ready to defend his title at Genesis. I don't care about this. So Indy Hartwell, she's back. She feels like she's been in limbo since her dog collar match. So the Elegance Brand came out to threaten Indy Hartwell. They threatened to send her on a plane back to Australia. I wish they would, because Indy Hartwell fucking sucks. She's not good, right? Enough. Stop pushing Indy Hartwell. Moving on. We then get another vignette, this time featuring the TNA Knockouts. So, whatever. I don't care about that either. Then we had a contract signing with Zia Lee, a.k.a. Lei Ying Lee, and Zia Brookside. So, Santino said that due to an international visa crisis, Daniel Luna, she's not going to be able to compete at Genesis. So Zia Lee has signed an open contract. So Zaria and Ruka, they come out. Ruka suggested Zaria takes a spot, and then Zaria signs the contract on the back of Santana Marella, and it's going to be Zaria versus Zia Lee at Genesis, which is fine, I guess. Whatever. I don't care about this at all. I don't. Whatever. Then we get a Cedric Alexander backstage segment. So Santana Marella said that Leon Slater's also having visa problems, and he announced that it's going to be a triple threat match. Slater's replacement is going to be Joe Hendry. So that's fine, whatever. And then Joe Hendry had a ringtone on Cedric's phone or whatever. I don't care about this shit. Then we get a Systems promo, which was awful. I'm like, what the fuck? So JDC, he grabbed the mic. He said that he wants Eddie Edwards to bring everything that he has, and that Next week, they're going to announce his replacement. But he told Eddie Edwards that he's not going to go out like a punk. I don't care about this shit at all. Main event of the evening, it was the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match. Mike Santana versus Frankie Kazarian. Before the match went underway, Carlos Silva came out, and then he introduced Dixie Carter, who got booed. She got booed completely, which was great. Bully Ray came out. He was on commentary, and Dixie Carter and Bully, they hugged, and then that was it. Mike Santana defeats Frankie Kazarian. He's once again the TNA World Champion. This match was okay, but I don't really need to see much of Frankie Kazarian. It was a bunch of cutters in this match and everything else. Spinning leg drops and stuff and all that. I don't care. There was a ref bump in the match. Frankie used the belt. Mike Santana kicked out. He also ate a nasty dead eye on the ropes, on the ring apron, which is basically fade to black. So the finish came when Frankie went for. He tried to do the spin the block himself. Mike Santana ducked it, and then he hit the spin the block to win the title, and then that was it. So whatever. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Thankfully, this is over. Well, this is not really over. So apparently, they're going to do a rematch at Genesis, and it's going to be a death match, and Nick Nemeth is going to be the special guest referee. And I do not care. Speaking of Genesis, let's go ahead and get into the match card. It's 8 matches. I'm not really excited for most of these matches anyway. Except for, I would say, Zaria and Xia Li. I'm not really excited for anything else. Maybe the triple threat will be good. So we're going to start with that. Cedric Alexander versus Moose versus Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry's going to win this because he's contracted to WWE, so why would he lose to Moose or Cedric? I do think that Cedric might be the one to dethrone Leon Slater. So, yeah, whatever. Moving on. AJ Francis versus Rich Swann. I don't need to see this at all. Rich Swann's probably going to win this. Who cares? Moving on. Elijah versus Mustafa Ali. This should be fun. Elijah's going to win this. Then we get the Hardys versus the Righteous. The Hardys are going to retain the TNA World Tag Team titles. Why would they lose? They're the faces of TNA. My bad. Xia Li versus Zaria for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. I think we're going to probably have Zaria win that one. Eddie Edwards versus JDC. I don't care about this. This is going to be his retirement match. Eddie Edwards is going to win this. I don't give a fuck about this. Ryan Nemeth versus Mara Sade. It's an intergender match. I'm not watching this either. Mara Sade is going to win this. I don't care about this at all. Main event of the evening. Mike Santana versus Frankie Kazarian. Texas Death Match for the TNA World Championship. Nick Nemeth is going to be the special guest referee. Mike Santana. And hopefully we get some surprises at Genesis. Hopefully maybe EC3 shows up and probably Braun Strowman. I could see those two showing up. I don't know who else they're going to get on the on the knockout side to show up. Maybe Lacey Evans, maybe. I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see how things play out. But clearly, this was a bad show. This was a bad premiere. This was a bad look for TNA. Hopefully they can bounce back from this shit. Hopefully. But this was lull TNA. This was lull TNA. It really, truly was. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.